Hello everybody, Rosemary here from the Sweet Poppy Stencils design team. I hope you're all keeping well. Today I'd like to share this card with you that I made using the Foxglove stamp. So to start with, I've got an A5 piece of watercolour card and I'm using the oval stencil. I'm getting my magnetic sheet. There's not a lot of resources that you need to make this card actually. It's only a few little bits. So I'll share them with you as we go along. So the first thing we do is we put our stencil onto our magnetic sheet, and I'm taping off just to protect the edges of the card. Oops. Now the first colour I'm using archival ink for this part of the demo, and I'm using Kirsch Flamingo. So I'm using this at the bottom, so I'm just dabbing it off on the end of the stencil and then gently rubbing it backwards and forwards until I get a very pale pink effect at the base of my oval. So just a little bit further up. I think if I chose pink because I knew I wanted to do my flower in pink, but I mean there are so many different colours you could use. I think I might even have a go at doing some different colours of this card because I think it's quite pretty. So and then I've got my blue, which is Forget Me Not. So it's archival again. And it's waterproof, and that's why I'm using it on the base, because it's waterproof. I can use Lucy's watercolour pens to ink up. So, and there we go. So that's the first part done. And I'll take this tape off. And I'll just put that over there. Lift up my I won't need my magnetic sheet at the moment. So this is our background that we're going to use. So the next thing I do is I've already put my stamp onto an acrylic block because I'm going to use an acrylic block for the background. So as you can see, there's like background stamping. I did try and stamp it with the archival, but it doesn't seem to want to come out very well. But I think what I'll do is I'll put it on a stamping platform. Yeah, in there. So I'll get my stamping platform out and we'll see. I'm going to place that in the corner and I'll take my stamp off. Now I need to make sure that you can see this in the video. Yes. So I'm going to place my stamp where I want it, which is about there. Now on this first set of stamping, I don't use the leaves. I only use the flower. So if we get our Kirsch Flamingo, and I'm not going to use the leaves, so I'm going to mask them off. Can you see? No, you can't see that. Let me move that over there. So I'm just going to mask off my leaf area I'm masking off my leaf area so that I'm only using that flower and not this part here that's going to be in green. So I just mask that off so that I just get the ink onto the flower part. And now my card has moved, but I know I put it right in the corner. So that's okay. Stick that onto that pad again. And then I'm going to press down. Oh dear. Luckily for me, I forgot to take masking tape off, but I didn't press hard enough. So the ink on the masking tape hasn't gone onto my card, luckily enough. So press that down. And that's our first part done. And then we take our stamp. And I'm taking it over to this side now. So I want these to look like they're in the background. I hope you're all having a good summer. If you've been on holiday, I hope you had a fantastic time. So I'm inking up my stamp again. And this time I'm taking off my masking tape. And I'm just going to gently press down. There we go. I'm going to do 2 more. So I'm now going to take my stamp off and I'm going to actually give it a clean. So that's ready to go. I'm going to use that now for my the main part of my flower. Right, so now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp our main flower image, which is this one here. So I'm going to stamp that. So I want the leaves all down the bottom, and I'm getting my stem to just touch the edge of the oval there. So that's nicely in between them 2 plants there. Is it not over the top? I'll just bring it down a little bit more, I think. Yep. I'm going to pick that up. And then, because now my stem comes over the edge a little bit, I'm going to put a little bit of masking tape just on the edge to pick that up. There we go. And now I'm going to do the same again with my masking tape, because I only want to have the flowers in pink and the leaves in green. So we're going to do what we did before. We're just masking off so that we're covering up this area that's green. So we're just masking up to this flower here. I did actually cut a mask out, but I found this easier. Stick it onto there. So, and this, for this I'm using clear ink and I'm using Hawthorn Rose. Make sure I stamp up all of my flower. Let me turn that over. And then I'm going to press. I did it again, I forgot to take the tape off. And now I've got a line of that there. So I'm going to leave that where it is. I'll cover that up later. So I'm going to now do my leaves. So I'm going to mask up again. I need to write a note there saying take the mask off. Right, so I'm going to bring that back over here so that you can see. So I'm going to clean off this part. Although I'm not moving the stamp, I still want to clean it off. I'm not moving this stamp because I've got to do the leafy bit now. So I'm doing exactly the same as what I did for the leaf. So I'm now just covering up the flower. So I'm just covering up all that flower there. I'll just move my tape around. So now all of that is masked off. Just put that there. And I'm using, as you can see, I did cut out a mask, but I found it easier to use the tape. So now I'm using Shady Lane for the leaves. And just make sure that I've got ink where I want it. And take off the masking tape. And just wipe the bottom of my, just in case. And then we're going to stamp our leaves. And there we have it. So that's our leaves. Oh, wonderful for me that that little bit of there where I forgot to take the masking tape off. I don't know if you can see that. So that little tiny bit there, the actual pink bit has gone inside the leaf of that little bud. So that's saved me. Okay, so that's our stamping done so far, apart from our little bee. So we're going to take that away. We don't need our stamp anymore. So I'm going to put it back on its little, oops, on its little piece of card. And now I'm going to quickly heat dry that. Because I've used clear ink, it doesn't dry straight away. So I'm just going to pause while I heat dry. So that's our card nice and dry. As you know, it takes a long time for clear inks to dry. So just as a reminder, I've used the Hawthorn Rose and the Shady Lane for them two. Now I'm going to use Lucy's watercolour pens and some water. I've been practicing with them. I keep watching some of the girls using them as well. I'll get in there slowly. So I can't even work out how to open it. Right, so I used set 1 and I actually used this one. I haven't got round to working out what colours are what. I've just downloaded the watercolour thing off the website, And I'm going to do, that's going to be my next task, is to do my watercolour chart for my, so I know what the colours are. So I used, when I got mine, it was the second pink in on the right hand side and the fourth green in on the left hand side, sorry. I tried a Zig pen the other day. Oh, I just didn't know what was going with that. So I'm sticking to paintbrush and water. So we're just going to colour in our flowers with these pens and leaves. So I'm going to place some ink on here. And I'm going to spray some water there. And I'm using a very fine paintbrush, really fine paintbrush. And I'm just picking up some colour and some water at the same time. I'm going to put my little cloth there. I'm just going to dab it off. And I'm going to colour in each individual flower. On the one I've done, as you can see, I've done it so that some of these are a bit green with the leaves and that. So I think it makes it stand out a little bit more. So I'm just going to colour this in, and then I'll be back with you. And I'm going to fast forward it a bit. So there we go. That's I was just checking then I hadn't left it on pause. That's our main flower coloured, and now we're going to do the leaves. So we're just going to spray a little bit more water and put my paintbrush in there just to make sure that there's no more pink on it. And we are using, what are we using? The green pen, that was it. So place our ink back on our mat. I will work out what these colours are, and I'll put it on the video, on the website, on Facebook I mean even. And then we're just going to colour in our leaves. And that's our leaves done as well. So there we go. So let's wipe up that so we don't accidentally mop it up with a card. I'll clean them later. Right, oh dear, what have I forgotten? Silly me, forgot to do the little leaves at the top. Soon as I put the cloth down, I noticed that I hadn't done it. A little bit more green ink. Right, okay. So we just give a little bit of green up here. It does actually make, I think it makes the top of the flower pop a bit. I think that's the last one. And there we go. So now we've just got to stamp our little bee. So these, I put these together because they both had the bees with them. So very nice bees. So we're just going to put our little bee there. You could have a bee coming the other way as well. I might put him there actually. Put him in a different place. I'm definitely going to make a few more of these cards. I've got lots of cards to make for this year. So I'll definitely make a few more of these ones in different colours. I'm using VersaFine Clair Morning Mist for my bee. And bring it towards me. I'm going to put him right there. I'm holding it down to let the ink soak into the watercolour card. There we go. And then the last thing we need to do is we're going to highlight on a card. So on the bee, I'm doing his body parts in yellow. There's 3 of them. I'm doing his eye in yellow. I'm just going to put a little bit of blobby yellow there so it looks like he's picked up some nectar. And then for his wings, I'm using the clear pen. There we go. I don't know if you can see that sparkling, but I hope you can. Now, around the oval, I placed my stencil back over my oval. Which is about there. And I just went round. With my clear pen. Around the oval shape. That's missed a few bits. So I'm just going to go around freehand. So that's gone round our oval shape as well. And then I just highlighted some parts, mainly the shadowing on the flowers. And then I'm going to also add some little highlights to these parts here. Just hold it up to the light every now and again to make sure that you're happy with your highlights. And there we go. Now the next thing I do is I mounted it up onto a A4 card. Which I have here. So this is also a watercolour card. But as you can see on this one, I've got like a little frame. I've raised this one up. So I'm just going, so all I need to do now is to trim this one down. So I use some double-sided tape. And then make sure your card is the right way round. And place it over the top. Sorry, I just head-butted the phone. And there we go. There we go. So this is the finished card, and the last thing to do is to just add a sentiment to our card if we need to. I'm not going to add a sentiment to this one at the moment because I don't actually know what I'm going to be using it for, but I just thought I'd share with you that you can always use Sweet Poppy stencils, just a word sentiments for every day. And the other one, I'm sure the other one is Christmas. I can't place my hands on it at the moment. It must be downstairs. So you could use one of these. And what I've done is I've mounted one up and I've coloured it in the same ink that I've used on the background. And we could just place that there, and then we could finish our sentiment inside. Also, Lucy does have a wide variety of stamps that you could use as well. So you've got a few here. So you've got good luck, you've got get well soon, on your special day, thank you, you are the best. They'd all fit nicely on there. So if you just go through all your sentiments and do what's appropriate for whatever you need. I hope you've enjoyed my video. I've enjoyed making it for you. I'll put both of them side by side so you can see them. I'm really happy with the way it's come out. And I'd just like to wish you all a lovely summer. Enjoy the weather, these heat waves that we keep having. And take care, stay safe, and I'll see you all soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.